And let's go international again with Dr. Stefano Guzzetti. And Stefano is a pathologist based in Turin, in Italy, and is mostly a long-time member of APOF NGO. APOF is the Association of Pathologists Beyond Border. And together with Stefano, we shared a few projects around African countries, starting from the founding project in Mwanza in different times, actually in Tanzania. But now we are going to travel again together in Somaliland in 1 month from today, Stefano. So we are on the job together. So Stefano, thanks really to be here. And I think we can start talking about the main goals of APOF NGO, which is an almost unique case of clinical pathology association born in Italy, maybe.
Yes. Matteo, many thanks for the invitation and to have given me the opportunity to hear all this interesting speech. The last one in particular, it's absolutely related to our job because, for example, I imagine a CT scan able to reach some parts of Africa together with a pathologist for oncologic purpose that see the fine needle aspiration that can be obtained through a CT scan. But in any case, it is a good integration of the project of Fiora that is very, very interesting. In any case, I am a pathologist. It means that we have dedicated to a very particular part of medicine that it is difficult to explain how a pathologist can be useful in Africa because many of us still have, in my opinion, a wrong idea of the health status in Africa. Africa is not only the country in which the people suffer of malaria or of disease related to not well nutrition and so on. Africa, it is a country in which the people suffered of cancer. And we discovered this mainly in the last 10 years, probably thanks to the improvement of the cancer registries that through which we have discovered that cancer can be a problem also in countries that we call, in my opinion, from too many times, developing countries. What means? It means that pathologists can be useful also in projects in developing countries. And as you can imagine, our profession is a very specific profession. And in African countries, the availability of pathologists is very poor, obviously, because it is a discipline that was considered not so useful until the recent years. And how to overcome this lacking of pathologists? Also in this case, a big aid can arrive by telemedicine. It means the particular form of telemedicine that we're managing, that is telepathology. As a personal comment, I envy you a lot, the radiologist, because teleradiology was born many years before telepathology, and probably the advantage of teleradiology it is that radiology manage images in grayscale. It means images that can be sent and exchanging with other countries with an internet band not so powerful. But as Matteo perfectly knows, because it is many years that collaborate with our association just in order to overcome this issue, telepathology in poor countries is very complicated because we are speaking about images in a big resolution and in color. It means that telepathology, to be effaced, needs a particularly improved internet, a broadband, and we are trying to face this problem with the ability of Matteo. In any case, our association is working in some African countries for almost 20 years, more than 20 years. We had begun in Tanzania, as Matteo have told before my intervention, in an hospital in a second city of Tanzania, which name is Mwanza, and it is on the what is the name of the lake? I don't remember.
Victoria.
Ah, okay, the Lake Victoria, sorry, it's passed many times. It is on the border of Lake Victoria. Mwanza is a city of about 500,000 inhabitants, in which there is a big hospital which was built by the English in 70 years. And in that hospital already exists a small laboratory of pathology that our association has taken care and improved in the years. After this experience in Tanzania, in which not only we applied a first form of telepathology, the telepathology available 20 years ago, but also we have started a program of training of pathologists, and at present, this laboratory in Tanzania, it is completely independent, not only completely independent, but my information is not so updated, but it is a university lab now. There is an American university that's taking care now of the laboratory. So many steps was the Duke University, many steps was taken. And now, passing the years, we have developed a particular system of intervention in poor countries, in which the program is the building of a pathology lab in that hospital, in that third level hospital that deserve a surgical pathologist. It means hospital that have the possibility to do something with our diagnosis, because you need to remember that if we put an hospital in condition to have an histological diagnosis, we have the necessity that someone take this diagnosis and have the possibility to do something. It means that usually we don't work in an emergency environment, but we work in a well-developed hospital in African countries. As I said before, the shortage of pathology is faced through telepathology. Telepathology means that we can train some lab technician in order to obtain the physical microscopic slides, but the diagnostic part was made in Italy or abroad in general through the digitalization of the slides and the sending of the slides out of the country of intervention. As I said before, Matteo and the work of Matteo has helped us a lot in order to overcome the problem of the sending of a big amount of data in using the connection, the local connection that in many cases are not connection so well functioning. Okay, but at present we are in condition to manage a regular sending of slides from several laboratories in some countries, not only Tanzania. We are close to finish a project in the north of Somalia, in that part of Somalia that is self-declared independence in 1991, the former British Somalia, now called Somaliland. And we are here to start a couple of projects also in Tanzania, not in Mwanza, but in the new capital city, which is Dodoma, and in another hospital in another part of Tanzania. And in all these cases, it is expected a project of telepathology. Just to conclude, for example, in the hospital in which we are working in Tanzania, there is a CT scan. But in every situation in which there is a general improvement of the diagnostic, obviously I'm speaking about oncologic diagnostic because our role it is mainly for oncological purposes, obviously. We are ready to follow every improvement of our diagnostic, and as I said before, while Yole is speaking, I just imagine a pathologist on the plane together on the CT scan, ready to perform a fine needle aspiration of a suspected mass founded by this particular kind of CT scan. So many thanks again to giving me the possibility to know this absolutely word of innovation, and many thanks to all of you.
Oh, thank you, Stefano. But I want to go with another or 2 points, if you agree, because after your sharp answer, I want to remember our dear Professor Amadori. Dino Amadori was one of the founders of modern oncology, and who somehow gave us the starting point, really, to all of us, of all our initiatives. And Prof. Amadori always said that their problems will soon be our problems, meaning the developing countries and oncology. But he also translated this maxim, this sentence, into concrete actions. So the story of APOF is a long story and not only based in African projects, isn't it?
No, actually, we are working in different situations because Africa is sort of a model for the cooperation, but there are many kinds of cooperation, and we are working also in Palestine about 10 years ago. And in Palestine, it was a very interesting project because it's not only related to the improvement of the local pathology lab in a governmental hospital in Bethlehem, but through the improvement of the pathology lab, the local authorities decided to open also a breast cancer program, because now there was the possibility to have fine needle aspiration and biopsy from the breast. So the possibility to develop a full screening program for the breast. I forget to say that, for example, in Africa, the problem is not strongly related to breast disease, but for example, with the cervical cancer disease. And in this case, paradoxically, it's more simple for us because to put a local laboratory in condition to perform some pap smears, that is very simple from a technical point of view, and also from a diagnostic point of view, because it is a very standardized diagnostic. We did this in some part of Africa, in Tanzania, in Zambia, and in other countries in which we are working. A last comment. I followed some years ago also a project in the former Yugoslavia, in Bosnia, in Sarajevo, not strongly related with APOF, but with my region in Italy, the Piedmont region. And that project, it can, in my mind now, seeing the situation in Ukraine. Ukraine is not a developing country. It's never been a developing country. It is a country that now has forces to give some step back in their development. Ukraine had the human resources, probably now poor economical resources, but our association, as I imagine all the people that have spoken before me, we have absolutely ready to give an hand that will not the same hands that can give in the developing countries, but an hand that means using the local human resources, improving equipments, not people. And also in this case, there is a different form of cooperation, a cooperation related to a country that never have been necessity of cooperation before this present situation.
In fact, and also I remember your recent presentation at CIAPEC Congress about the case of Afghanistan. That was a brave history, I think, because different scenarios again.
Yes, Afghanistan was for example, was a project in which 3 local technicians come to Italy to be trained in fine needle aspiration of the breast and also interpretation of the slides. The important fact that that 3 technicians in Afghanistan was trained for the interpretation of slides, it is an important fact to me, has allowed a minimal form of telepathology. It means because they are in Afghanistan, there was 3 people able to recognize suspected cell of microscope. It means that it was necessary only a camera applied to the microscope and to give us already selected field of that slides, which means a sentence that I love it is, the amount of need in pathology has a sort of inverse proportion to amount of training that you live on site. It means, take the case of Somaliland. In Somaliland now we are training only technicians. The technician will be able to prepare slides only. It means that the whole slides have to be digitized and sent to Italy, okay? With a certain cost and a certain needing of broadband. Take the example of Afghanistan. In Afghanistan, we have left 3 technicians able to recognize wrong suspected cell on the microscope. It means that in that case, it will not necessary to send the whole slides, but only some field of the slides. It means only a camera. It means not a particularly phased band, internet band, and not a particular equipment. Okay, this is another example in which the telepathology could be modulated considering the local situation. Okay.
On the situation, perfect. In fact, through very different contexts like these, we can see that pathology needs an healthcare ecosystem made of organizational aspects, medical skills, of course, human resources, technologies, to be integrated in a clever way to be effective in the specific context. This is the evidence now after more than 20 years. And as you remarked, indeed, we can say that just in the recent years, we are exploring the true potential of telepathology differently respect to teleradiology or digital radiology. So EPOF and development cooperation is now acting as a true driver for innovation in telepathology that we intend as a tool for the medical practice and the capacity building, so to favor the capacity building for developing countries, and with a big feedback to us, I think. Professor Amadori was right, and it must be said, I think, that we want to support pathologists' work and not to replace medical doctors and specialists, of course, with technology. And so, in fact, finally, what is the social meaning of the operation modality of APOF around the globe?
In my idea, it is, for example, one of our surprise, one of the things that we are discovered in these years, the training, for example, the training can be adapted to the local situation. Also in this case, for example, the training can be modulated on the basis of the goal to reach. I imagine in Italy, a fully developing cytotechnician It means a technician able to read and to diagnose a pap smear need 1 or 2 years of training before to become completely independent in diagnostic. But if we consider that, for example, part of the country in which we operate are in sort of hurry, they have a sort of urgency to reach some diagnostic, we can adapt the training about the disease. For example, we can limit the training of the technician, considering the fact that behind the shoulder of the cyto technician, there will be a pathologist able to support his diagnostic. When the technician will reach a first level of training, for first level, in my opinion, it is recognize a bad cell from a good cell, okay? Someone else in Italy will tell this cell is bad in a certain way or in another way, okay? And this is the first level of diagnostic. Passing the time, this technician will be trained more deeply in order to detach his dependence from telepathology. Telepathology, it is only a provisional tool. Provisional means in the first part of the project will completely substitute the specialist. In a second part, when the specialist will be completely trained from the cytotechnologist to a local pathologist, telepathology will not be completely unuseful. It will remain an essential tool for second opinion. In my hospital, if I have a doubt on the microscope, I walk to the chair, to the table of my colleague, and we will see the slide together. If there would be only one pathologist in Africa, the colleague through which exchange the opinion will be the telepathology. In this case, I repeat, the telepathology should not completely replace the pathologist. It is a provisional tool that can be that can remain also in the future for a second opinion. If we based our project only on telepathology, in my opinion, it is only another form of colonization. Our final goal it is to make independent this hospital and to continue to give an end at the same way in which my colleague give an end to mine if I had some doubt.
Clear. I completely agree. We have medical doctors. We hope to have more and more medical doctors involved in this kind of projects because technology is a tool that can put out some weight from shoulder of pathology that we will able to work better and more in their specifics, of course. And so we look forward to a bright future for the upcoming app of projects. And again, the commitment of ever more such particular specialists as the ones involved in the world of pathology. So precious and so hidden in the healthcare process.
Yeah. It is our habit to be hidden. It's not a problem.
Thanks, Stefano. Really thanks
Thank you
for this clear, bright contribution. Thank you.